Time to tell the truth to yourself about yourself. And that's what we call a truth sheet. And in the previous episodes, we've outlined a number of different points that we put together. Write them out, no particular order. And today, we're going to summarize them because your life matters, and it matters so much that you want to write it down. What does matter about it and where you want to go with it, because you only get one life. So let's make the most of it. So the first video covered outlining your assets and liabilities. We all have assets and liabilities regarding our skill sets, our capacities, our personalities, our preferences. It's all there. You know what some of them are. But put pencil to paper. Really think about that. And then two, what are your liabilities? Assets and liabilities. Almost everything in life has assets and liabilities attached to it. Point number two, formulating your life vision with tangible goals. Now, we don't want to get our knickers all in the bunch over this one because it can be really intense to try to figure out our whole life. And that's why the idea with the truth sheet is you make several passes at it, and each time certain elements will stand out and you'll get more comfortable and connected to yourself about what you want to tell yourself about them. But the vision part is, it's the big kahuna. It's what all the rest of the points build on. And that's going to include the most important and salient goals that you got. And of course, that's going to change as you change and evolve. All right. Point number three, creating good questions about your life. What are your good questions? Like, when are you going to get your next pay raise? Or something of that nature. Or deeper questions. Or even superficial questions. But what are your questions? Those need to be noted. And they evolve over time. Number four, developing your support system. What constitutes your support system? Is your support system developing in meaningful ways? What can you do to develop it further? Who's on the way in your support system? Who's on the way out? That's how you stay connected to everyone else. Your support system. Critically important. Next, we want to clarify your passions and potentially create a life motto. We got to know what floats your boat. What gets you out of bed? What gets you moving and grooving? Watch that episode and discover more about what your passions are and how you can connect with them. Next, recognizing your recurring themes and the unfinished business in life. You know, all those projects you've started, are you going to finish them? Yes or no? If no, say goodbye. Discard. Circular round file. All of that. Keep what matters. Focus your attention down. We don't want to become a hot mess of all these projects that we've started without clarity about which ones we want to finish. And along with that are the themes. Do you sabotage yourself right at the brink of success? Is that something you do? Do you give up just before the success is ready to happen? What are the themes in your life? Because if you're, say, 30 or older, you've got them. And they're worth contemplating. Next, identifying 3 areas of outward attention and inward character development. It's not time management anymore. It's attention management. It's activity management. How many activities are you engaged in out in the world and with your life? What are the most important ones right now? And if you've got a lot and it's time to prioritize, make a now, later, and way later list. And you study what's on that now list, and you'll be amazed at how many can be moved to the later or even the way later list. And that's what's going on out in the world, your world. And the flip is what's going on inside. Still struggling with those boundary issues? Still struggling with possessing yourself? Struggling with other people needing to recognize you and affirm you because you're having trouble doing it for yourself? Well, how about if we pick out 1 or 2, 3 at the most, of those kinds of things? We'll call it character development. And let's get to them. And leave the rest alone. Because there's many ways that we can be improving ourselves. But we want to know what's available and most beneficial to improve right now. That's what we want to focus on. Next, we are going to accelerate growth through declarative statements. We're going to come up with statements that really identify what we need to be mindful of. I always think, before I respond, is a good declarative statement. If you tend to get really emotional and or you just are kind of unfiltered and say whatever's on the top of your head and you're not considered in your thinking. And just like inward character development and outward attention on things in life, a couple 3 declarative statements is enough for this 5 minutes. And when you get to the point that you don't have to tell yourself that declarative statement, then you've resolved it. And you get to put another new declarative statement on that list. And the last one is monitoring your life experience. And in that video, we talked about not just the idea of writing a journal or somehow codifying your life experience, but the idea of possibly doing an audio recording from time to time for your ears only. And listening back and sensing and interpreting, because you're talking to yourself. The truth sheet's all about you. It's all about a conversation with yourself. It's one of the most important conversations you can have. And then there's this really cool chart that kind of puts it together visually if you're a visual person. That's the assets and liabilities you have, and what your passions are, what do you have going for you, what do you need help with, what's your good questions, and those declarative statements, and the unresolved issues, the unfinished business, because that reflects your past. the past, and that's your story. And then there's something called practicing your discipline, which is your present. And that's your daily program. And then you have your goals, which is your plan, your vision, your future. That's how it works. That's a truth sheet. And if you've come this far, you are ready to tell yourself the truth about your life and the what so of your life and where you want to take your life right now. So like and subscribe. Appreciate that. Give yourself credit for trying. Take it a step at a time, nice and easy. As Frank Sinatra would say, nice and easy does it every time. We'll see you again in another video. Take care.